What's up, metalheads, and welcome down to the vault. And today in the vault, we're going to welcome 3 new bands. Well, they're probably not necessarily new bands, but you may not have heard them before, but they are creeping around in the Bay Area because the Bay Area scene is very fucking alive and always will be. I know you guys always like to hear the stories from the other bands and all the history on, the legendary acts. And I do, and I love to tell those as well, but I love to keep metal alive, and the way we keep metal alive is talking about the new bands as well. So today on the Vault, we have Mr. James Rayom from Rage of War. We have Mr. Jeremy Epp from the Vending Machine, and we have Mr. Patrick Donovan from Toy Called God. So enough of me just babbling into the mic. Let's get into it. Here we are with our number 1 band on Local Bands 3. I have with me sitting in the vault, Mr. James Rayom from Rage of War. What's up, brother?
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here. Good to have a piece of the next level of Bay Area bands coming in. We've already done a couple of these, so this will be the third one, which we're going to keep doing here on the vault because we like to, obviously, people are very interested in what's going on in the Bay Area next, and I'm trying to, well, even other bands, if you're not from the Bay Area and you happen to be on tour, get a hold of Wayne and we'll try to get you on. But right now, because I'm in the Bay Area and the Bay Area bands are here, it's kind of good for the Bay Area band. So good to have you in, my friend.
Thanks for
How's
having
everything
me.
going?
Everything's going great.
Cool. Talk about the band a little bit. Talk about the inception of Rage of War, when you kind of started it and how you were, because we've had this, actually, I have to be honest, we had this conversation. I've already interviewed him for part 3, but I have to throw my producer, Wayne, under the bus because the hard drive somehow got fucked up. So other interviews as well got lost in that. So this is kind of part 2, but people don't know that. The viewers don't know that. So
they do now.
I'm honest with them. I'm honest with them about everything. If you know that, I just tell it like it is. So I have to tell you that mistakes happen on our end all the time, and that was kind of a big one.
Oops.
So talk about the band and starting the band.
So Rage of War was started basically as a recording project because I'm a drummer first and then a guitar player, and I also do vocals. So I kind of started it.
What year did we do this in? What year?
So I started in 2017. I had a short stint singing for my brother's band, and it kind of got me into doing some vocals. And I was like, hey, I'm going to write some songs on guitar. And so I started writing these songs, and I was like, this would be cool to actually create a band and take it live. So, December of 2017, I found a drummer, and then shortly after, found a bass player, and then started like doing this. And it was pretty interesting to come from, being a drummer all my life to where now I'm actually playing guitar and singing, which is kind of weird. And it's like, well, here we are.
Okay, so now you wrote all the songs for this, and did you get other players to do that, or did you do all the work on the demo saying that you play all those instruments?
On our first offering, which is this one right here, which is The War Begins, I did the drums and the guitar, all the writing on that one. We have, a guest spot for Costa from Hatred, which we know, Hatred right here.
Costa.
He did a couple guitar solos for me, which was awesome. That guy's a fantastic shredder.
He's a witch. He's a witch. He said he's a talent. There's
a different breed.
It's like Amadeus with the guitar. Like Skolnick, same thing.
Prodigy.
Up my somebody else who was come my way when he was a kid. But anyway, we won't get into that.
So I did the drums on that one, and then I did vocals on a song, and I had Eddie Vega from Bad Boy Eddie. He did 3 songs because he was with us for a while. And so we had a little bit of personnel changes, and so we're getting ready to go in the studio coming up here in the beginning of December with Juan Arteaga, which, who recorded and produced that one.
He's done a million things for me and
Bay Area
the
legend.
boys. And
yeah.
I did the Creature Feature theme for the show. Creature Feature. Juan was the engineer producer on that. So
fantastic.
He knows what he's doing. Yeah, definitely.
He's an amazing guy. So we're going to start the second offering. So we'll do 6 more songs.
Who's in the band now?
So right now we have Caleb Eanes, which plays drums. We have Shane Johnson on bass. We have John Hahn, which is our lead guitar player and / rhythm guitar player, and I'm doing guitars and vocals. And most of the writing. Now,
about drums, are you not involved with it anymore? Are you writing any type of drum beats along with some of the songs, telling the drummer to play this? Or are you giving him freedom?
So I recently became schooled in how to do this easy drummer thing, and so I've been kind of just getting the basics to help write songs, and then I hand it off to him. And then he does
He
his
takes it
magic.
to the next
well,
level.
because he writes what he's going to play.
Right, sure.
And so all these crazy, nutty drum rolls that I'm like, yeah, I could never do that when I play drums, but this kid is really talented with that. And so now he has the freedom. And so when he goes into the studio with Juan, he'll play all his stuff, but my little pre-production demos are just my basic, like.
When are you planning to do that, James?
So we start with this one on December 1st through 6th.
Now, are you going to start shopping this for an actual record label and start trying to get, that's kind of the next level, right?
I think so. I mean, there's some talk going on right now about some things and some bigger, shows and festivals and things like that.
Festivals can happen without a label. It doesn't matter. I mean, the internet is now, YouTube is bigger than any record label out there. So,
well, everybody wants us on Spotify, and we're not on Spotify
that's another
yet,
thing. So,
but that's going to happen when this one gets released. We'll go do the Spotify
Good.
and all that stuff. So we are Rage of War. As far as we don't have like the website, but Facebook is pretty much, we're on Facebook and Instagram and.
When will you guys release this demo?
Probably sometime around March or April.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys got going now? What's up on shows? I mean, you got anything going on in the Bay Area?
So December 7th, we are playing with From the Ruins, which is my brother's band, From the Ruins.
That was the band you were singing in when you did?
I did. I sang their first couple shows and wrote lyrics for a couple songs.
Where's that show at?
That one's at Alturas Cellar in Reno. And then, so that's with Nevayan and Weight of the Tide, as well as we are playing February 8th at Ukiah Brewing, which
I've been there. Yeah,
you've been there with
my tribute band. Yeah,
that's February 8th.
Good gig, a lot of fun.
Cool spot.
Yeah, cool little spot.
Cool spot.
Not much to do up there, so that place gets packed with people that are they're starving for it up there.
Yes,
so they come from around the area, not
Yes.
just necessarily.
Yeah,
there.
And a big shout out to Brian Sticky Tips for putting that together, because that's a good guy, and he's going to be doing our artwork as well as he does our flyers and our T-shirts.
Nice.
Sticky Graphics.
At Sticky Graphics.
Sticky Graphics, yeah.
Got to plug that. So hey, man, I know everybody would be in my face if I didn't ask you, what the hell happened to your eye, bro? You got to tell us.
So
it's great. I actually know, but I mean, I had to bait him on that one.
So when I was 3, I was playing with a huge rubber band, and I was trying to shoot it, and I let go of the wrong end, and it popped me right. So I shot my own eye out with a rubber band when I was 3. So rubber band guns.
So what did it do to your eye? That I mean, did it just pop the whole eye like a?
So and you can't really see it, but yeah, it's still in there. It split the corneal lens and drained the fluid out. And back in those days, we're talking 1974, there was no, like real technology to save it. So they're like, yeah, you're screwed. You're done. So just.
It's very metal, I must say, don't you think? It's very metal on that.
Well, as a shtick, I actually have an eye patch with my band logo on it that I wear.
I love the shtick. We're a big shtick guys here on the vault. What else you got going on? What else is going on with Rage of War? You got anything lined up? Just the demo and the show right now?
Yeah,
I know, because the end of the year is November now. End of the year is winding down.
Yeah.
Going to recharge the battery and stuff like that.
For sure. Mostly trying to concentrate on recording, because I'm doing
And you have all the songs together now, right?
Yes, I'm just finishing the last of the lyrics right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because he writes this stuff, people.
Yeah, well, what's cool is one of the songs that's going to be on this is a song called Hypocrite. And what I had my drummer do is I said, hey, just give me like 6 minutes of what you would put together for a drum track. And he handed me this, this MP3 of this drum track. And so I wrote backwards from the drum track and wrote all the parts on the guitar and then everything to it. And it was a challenge. That was a
wow, that sounds like
it was a challenge. It's like all these different parts. So that was pretty cool.
Okay, so where can they haven't got this disc. Where can they go get Rage of War?
Bandcamp. It's downloadable on Bandcamp. You can also get it from me. Find us on Facebook. Send us a message. I will mail one out to you. We also have T-shirts and
all that kind of stuff. So again, we're gonna try to get all the Bay Area bands in here that are that you don't know about, but still have some validity to them. And Rage of War is one of them. Thanks for coming in, my friend.
Thanks for having me. And by the way, thanks for being accessible to us.
Hey, that's no
It's
problem.
really awesome to be able to do this.
It's a lot of fun to do this, and it's great to have you guys as well as other people that have some good stories to tell in the business. It makes it for a kind of a
community,
a collage and a community of the show. Exactly.
For sure.
So
for sure.
Thanks James. No problem. No problem. Local Bands 3. We are with Jeremy Epp from the Vending Machine. What's up, brother?
Yo.
I've been trying to get you in the first couple of parts. I've done a couple of these already, and I had you circling. Believe me, I have my feelers, people circling around you to get you in here.
Oh, dude,
I'm glad you came in.
Gotta get my number, man.
Well, the thing is, I have a thing by Mr. Producer over there. I'm booking the shows. Like, okay, well, you book the shows. That means you find the numbers and everybody. I still got you. I still got your info. So
right on.
Actually, Jeremy's been in this band's you guys have been in the Bay Area for quite some time now.
Vending Machine.
Yeah.
I mean, we started in the first incarnation of this band started in the late '90s. Yeah, we were called Breach.
Anybody left from that?
Yeah,
there is.
Yeah, we got the singer Brady, drummer Joe Tobin, myself, and we've had a couple different bass players, but the core.
Really?
Vocalist, guitar player, drummer. I mean, we've remained the
That's
same.
rare. You know what I mean? From the late 90s, because we're almost in the 20s here, you know what I mean?
It's extremely rare. Matter of fact, as much as I've seen, as many bands
for a band that hasn't, really gotten, international exposure. It is, people get very disgusted with this business after a while if it's not kicking their way. And I know you've seen that,
It can be hard at times. Yeah, it can be hard at times. But I will say, I think that the one testament to the fact that we've remained a band is the fact that we're really good friends and we're all talented enough to where nobody has to kick each other out of the band.
Right.
So
well, as long as there's no other elements that kind of sometimes, drugs and alcohol and girls and not showing up. But we're all older guys now.
We're all guilty of that from time to time. But I mean, that's normal. That's
and it's rock and roll. It has to be that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's my man right here, Mr. Jeremy. So talk about what you've done. You have a few records out.
Vending Machine has, I mean, I think there's four or five.
Four. On independent labels.
Yeah, they're actually on no label at all. It's just all independent.
And where can you get that music, Jeremy, for people that want to check it out?
Actually, iTunes.
iTunes carries
we do
it
the whole CD Baby thing.
Cool.
I mean, of course, at our shows, we've got stock of everything that we're doing. Yeah.
What are you doing now?
Right now, actually, I'm right in the middle of recording a new Vending Machine album.
Really?
And so the drum tracks are done, guitar tracks are well underway, and we're just chugging away.
Same musical direction?
Yeah, I mean, well, our last one, Shackles, it turned out pretty dang good, and basically
because we've lost the long hair and we've gone to the kind of front piece with the jowls there. So,
the
look's changing as the music broke.
The music's is evolving. We're trying to top ourselves. We're constantly trying to top ourselves. That's what's great about this band. Our vocalist Brady, he's one of the best growlers, singers around. Drummer Joe. I mean, our bass player right now, Jimbo. I mean, probably one of the most talented dudes in the Bay Area. So we're trying to write stuff to utilize everybody's talent and to just have fun, really. I mean, and play the stuff that we would like to hear ourselves. And that's basically what it boils down to.
That's great because you're playing the music for the love of. I mean, it's not like, well, we're going to be this and we're going to get signed and we're going to go on a world tour. It's like, you know what? If that happens, it's great.
Yeah, that would be great. But
but the music is the main thing,
right?
And to be around for like 20 years now, the late 90s or more, and still have the core of you guys together. And the testament of that is like, wow, it shows that you guys are real good friends and that the music doesn't make or break the friendship. The music just kind of keeps it going together,
Yeah, I mean,
gives you guys an interest together, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we're sort of spread out in California, so I mean, it's not like we can go next door and knock on the door and with a 6-pack and say, hey, let's hang out. I mean, we would love to be able to still do that, but we're all in our 40s.
Yeah, right.
And
there's lives and things go on, but the music still holds.
Nobody's a slouch in this band.
That's great.
Nobody's,
which is rare. You know what I mean? Usually, especially when you're not on the level where you're getting so much attention. It's nothing against it. It's just easy to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just
people get lazy or discouraged.
Discouraged becomes laziness, brings laziness, and I tell people this all the time. play music and play metal because you loved it and you loved music and that's why you started playing. If something happens to you, great. If nothing happens to you at all, great. You know, so what? You started playing music because you loved it and went into concerts. I know so many people that didn't necessarily, reach the level that they wanted to reach, and they're like, hey, did you go see? I don't go to concerts anymore, man. I didn't get what you got, Zetro. It's like, well, don't be bitter at the business for that. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen to everybody. But why did it draw? You must not have really liked music anyway, if that's the case, because to me, it's like, this is what we are, Jeremy. I mean, I know you from this. Him and I actually have history. We played together. We've done a couple of things together.
We did that one really badass show.
Yeah,
New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Cool. And so we've done some things together, and I know how talented he is, and you're like underrated,
well, thanks, man. I mean,
you know what I mean? You should. I look at guys like you that can play and say, wow, this guy should really have much more notoriety than you have. And I think, check this out. Check the Vending Machine out.
This album, I mean, there's something pretty magical about this, just the way that it came together, the songs, the production.
When did this come out?
2017.
2017, so recent.
So this is our latest, and I mean, it still holds up. Like
where can they get the actual disc? Talk about where, if you guys got a website or anything, can they get shirts? Is there swag? Is there?
We've got some swag. All that stuff's usually come to a show. And we got it.
Can you go through Facebook or
Okay. Yeah. You can hit us up through Facebook, and we'll ship.
There you go.
I mean, we're a DIY band, at this level, and just trying to stay afloat. And
that's okay. As long as you're having fun. You having fun still?
Oh, heck yes.
Sounds like it, because your three friends are, still staying very tight with you. And I've seen you a couple of times. You're a great tight band. Anything going on live right now? What do you guys got shows wise?
Actually, it's pretty low tide at the moment.
It's like the end of the year. It's like everybody's saying that. We had James from Rage of War who watched before this segment, and everybody's laying low on the end of the year thing.
Yeah,
I get that though.
If something came up that we would, we couldn't pass up, of course we would jump on that. But we're taking the time right now to just work on this album, taking our sweet time with it, and make sure it's the best thing that we've done.
That's great. That's taking your pride in what you're playing. You know what I mean? You're like in no hurry, and there's no time clock, so make it as good as you can. Who's doing it? Where are you recording it at?
Well, we did the drum tracks with Eric Hill at Blue Room Studios, and that's in Discovery Bay. And he's badass. He's real good with drums as well.
Really? Got a good drum room there?
Yeah. And then we do the rest ourselves. I have a little studio.
That's awesome.
I do the guitars, the bass at my house, and then our lyricist Brady, he does all his own production. He records himself. He does all the melodies, lyrics. The dude's a genius.
That's great.
I mean, really.
God, I'm not. I'm old school. Give me the lyric sheet. I learned them. I come in, put cans on, and go, okay, roll it. Let's go.
Well, it's we're lucky. Nobody has to worry about anybody.
That's great.
Parts. It's like, hey, when you're doing your thing, you do your thing, and it's like, wow,
on this level, you shouldn't have to. If you're this older, our age anyway, and you're playing music, you know what it takes at this time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially being together this long.
We know what it takes. You know each other, and so there's a formula, and you follow it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, go check them out. They are the Vending Machine. Again, I'm going to be doing more of these local band spotlights. I might have you in for one of your other bands that you play in, because a lot of the musicians that we have here play in actually other bands, and we'll get into those. But hey, man, thanks for coming in, brother.
Zetro, always good to see you, man.
Always awesome. Good to have you. And to finish out our episode of local bands, because of course, there's so many great bands in the Bay Area. I have Mr. Patrick Donovan from Toy Called God. What's up, brother?
Not much. How are you today, man?
How are you?
I'm great.
Nice to have you in.
Thank you. Honored and humbled and thankful to be here.
That's all right. It's all about brotherhood in the metal world in the Bay Area, right?
Right on.
Talk about putting the band together. When did you put it together? Was it you that actually put it together?
So I'm the last founding guy left, and yeah, it was a thing where it's kind of a weird story. So there was this FedEx driver who played guitar, and he swung by this dude's house to drop off a package or whatever, and the guy was a drummer, and so he saw the drum set in there and talked to that guy, and they're like, let's jam, and so they did that.
What year was this?
2010.
2010.
And so then, like a week or two, couple later, they're like, we got to get more dudes. So they put an ad up on Craigslist. I answered the ad. I went over. I checked them out. I'm like, well, I need a drummer, the guitar player. But okay, I'll give it a shot. Why not? And they're like, cool, we got a singer. He'll be here next week. It'll be awesome. And the singer was the drummer's brother. And I'm like, sweet, I'll be back. And so I rolled in the following week, brought the gear in, set it up, and we started just playing anything we could all get together and play. I had a bunch of songs written, and then we did some covers, like Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting and stuff like that. And the singer opened his mouth, and it sounded like Phil Anselmo was coming out. I'm like, that's rad. I can do something with that. That fits my whole band name
And who was that,
concept.
Patrick? Who was that?
That was Tyson Cliff. Sorry, I'm just flying along in my mind. Tyson was the singer. Zach Cliff is the drummer, and a guy named Mike Ruccavina was that guitar player. And so I heard his voice, and I'm like, all right, this is sweet. And so when we went on a break in between the jamming, I'm like, hey, bro, we could really do something with this. He's like, really? And I'm like, no, really, we can. I just got to get a PA, and we could do something with this. And so I went down the next day, bought a PA, called him up, and said, help me get this crap to my house. He came down, took it to my house. Toy Called God took off. We got a bass player off Craigslist, and we're off.
You're talking 2010 now.
Yeah.
2010.
And then we rolled for like 6 months in the garage, writing and getting stuff together. And the other guitar player wasn't working out. He leaving his guitar at the rehearsal space, not practicing, any of that stuff.
That happens in this business.
Right? And so we offered him the opportunity to pursue other opportunities.
Well, that happens. You also, there's a lot of, in the flower bed, there's also weeds. And a lot of time you have to pull the weeds out so you have room for other flowers,
Correct.
you see. So what is the lineup now?
So it's a 4-piece, and the current lineup is myself, Marcus Lance on vocals, Johnny Mansfield on the bass, and Brandon Orta on drums.
Yeah, I watched your video, the Punch video.
Oh, I love that one.
And it's really, I love the song. It's not, again, it's not your tradition. You're thinking, it's going to be like thrash metal or something like the other two bands that we featured on this show, and it's not. It's really good. It's awesome singer. He's really nails it. The songwriting is really is a lot deeper than a lot of metal bands are trying to do right now. Are you writing the songs as well, Patrick?
So the riffs all start with me, and then Marcus and I get together. He works out a melody. We come up with an idea, and then we start working on lyrics.
And how long has this band been inception for this
particular lineup has been in place since about June. I had some turnover at the beginning of 2019, lost a drummer, and then 3 months later lost a bass player. So we have an all-new rhythm section this year, and we're soldiering forward.
How's the attitude and the mentality of the new players?
The new morale is great.
Great.
Guys
it's great
are
when
super
guys come in
psyched.
fresh and they get excited about it.
Right, and then some of the one guy just moved out from Kentucky, the bass player, Johnny, and so he's new to this whole Bay Area vibe. So
Not much going on in Kentucky, though. So
well, I mean,
there's a little bit. I mean, if you want to play,
right?
If you want to do this,
you got to come play with the big
not
boys.
too many people. I'm not signing too many bands out of Kentucky. Let's just say. Now, I love Kentucky fans; they're great, and they're good metalheads. But California is much more of a bevy of what you need to,
succeed.
Succeed. If you want to play with quality musicians that are, innovating a sound or in a scene where they're doing it, you have to target the major cities.
That's why I moved out here in 2002.
And you're from?
I'm from Pittsburgh, PA.
I love Pittsburgh.
And
Great
so
city.
when you guys were all doing it coming up, I was probably 13, 14, 15 back in the Burg and getting all the cassettes and stuff from the music
We were at
shops.
the Civic Center in '89 with that
Civic Arena.
Civic Arena with Halloween and Anthrax, Headbangers Baltimore. I remember that.
Yes.
I remember that. You know why? Because all the guys from Slipknot had to go up to see that one from there. That's what they told me.
Crazy.
Joey and Mick and Corey said they had to, when they were kids, that's where they caught their big concerts because nothing like that
all the
came
way
through
in Pittsburgh.
Iowa.
Crazy.
That's what they told me.
Wow.
So
we were getting all the cassettes and stuff back there, and that's where I got an appreciation of thrash and a bunch of other stuff. And so when we're writing, we try to meld the thrash and the glam and the alternative and the classic rock, and we put all those elements in there, and that's what that is.
yeah, I like it. It's really good. Tell us, everybody, where they can get this. If you're Spotify, any of that stuff. Are you?
Oh yes, we are everywhere. We're like internet herpes almost.
And where can you get the disc if you want physical stuff and merchandise?
Okay, so
that stuff.
the best place to get anything Toy Called God is toycalledgodband.com. We have the full selection of merch, t-shirts, CDs, weed grinders, flasks, shot glasses.
I love
just
weed
all of it.
grinders. I'm a big fan. And you brought the vault some presents because we're in California and Wayne, we got presents, huh? Wayne's back there going, yeah, we got presents. get stoned later. Yeah, it's great.
You got to take care of the homies, right?
Totally right on.
So you can get all that stuff at toycalledgodband.com. You can also get physical or downloaded copies from Slip Trick Records, which is who we're signed to. And then you can find it on all the platforms, the iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon. It's everywhere.
Awesome. Talk about some shows. You got anything coming up right now?
Our next show scheduled is New Year's Eve at the Boardwalk in Sacramento, Orangevale.
Yeah, Sacramento, yeah. Played there before.
We'll be there with the Elusive Furs, Cardboard Ringo, and others. And then February 8th, we're at the Parkside in San Francisco.
I love the Parkside.
It's a great little spot.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, thanks for coming in the vault. Fucking awesome to have you here. Keep doing this. Keep playing metal, man.
I don't know any other way.
That's a great way. And then, you guys check out all the local bands like that we've had today. Rage of War, the Vending Machine, and obviously Look at that's what happens. See what happens? See, so much fucking weed. Toy Called God, and again, it's not all about the bands that in the Bay Area. There's a lot of bands that probably haven't heard of. Check out their video Punch. I love it. It's really, really good.
Thank you so much. Good. Thank you so very much. And he's right. There are so many great bands in the Bay. Just because you haven't heard of them doesn't mean they're out there.
That's
so
true.
Go find them.
That's true. Thanks for coming in, Patrick.
Thank you, Zet.
Nice. There you go, guys. Another slew of great Bay Area talent that you may or may not have heard. I know this goes all over the world. So some of you guys in the corners of the world that may have heard or haven't heard and looking for some new stuff coming out of the Bay Area, this is what it is. So this was the third time we're going to do it, or we've done it. We're going to keep doing it. And, maybe not just some Bay Area bands, bring in some bands from other areas as they're traveling through that you may or may not have heard of. So just keep watching here on The Vault. Obviously, leave me comments. If you've heard of some of these bands or something about some of these bands, tell me where you've seen them and what you like about them, and let me know what you guys think. And then obviously share this and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you for Zetro's local bands on the next one on Zetro's Toxic Vault.